Welcome back to Rogers Center. Blue Jays opening up a 3-game series against the AL West Oakland Athletics, who are starting a 9-game 3-city road trip here. Blue Jays won 2 of 3 against Minnesota. Bob Garrett in his 5th year as the manager, out with the umpires exchanging the lineup card. And here's the lineup for the Oakland Athletics. Coco Crisp, healthy and top of the order. He's a guy that makes their offense go, batting .417 to start the season. Barton, Connor Jackson, and Josh Willingham. Willingham's one of the 2 players acquired in trades in the offseason. He and David De Jesus coming to Oakland, trying to fortify the offense here. Kurt Suzuki, an outstanding catcher. Kevin Kuzminoff down in the order with a chance to develop a little bit more confidence at the plate. And Andy LaRoche playing at shortstop tonight, a former third baseman at short for the Athletics.
They're going to have to try and do something to get some runs, especially on the road. That is the lineup that JoJo Reyes takes to the mound for his AL debut. He spent his previous 4 seasons in the Atlanta Braves organization before being acquired along with Junel Escobar in July of last season. He made an appearance for the Braves in 2010 as he spent most of it in the minor leagues with the Blue Jays. He has 5 career wins, and one of them is against these Oakland A's, who he beat 5-2 back in May of 2008.
Take a look at the Jays defensively. A couple of changes in the defensive lineup. In the outfield, Juan Rivera is in right in place of Jose Bautista. In case you joined us late, Bautista more than likely will not play in this series as he's away from the ball club attending to a family matter. Jason Nix gets his 2nd start at third base. Adam Lind off to a good start defensively over at first. And the veteran Jose Molina draws the action tonight to handle JoJo Reyes on the mound.
So good to see Rajai Davis back in the lineup. Top of the lineup, he adds that speed factor. We saw it early in the season in that first inning. Too bad he rolled his ankle on the same play when he tried to get picked off. Finished the game. Well, he didn't finish the game. Got a couple more at-bats. Came out in the 8th inning. Now back in there after the off day yesterday.
And you can bet he's got a little adrenaline going, not only because he's back in the lineup, but because he's playing against his former team, the Oakland Athletics. Coco Crisp in center field for Oakland will lead things off. Crisp is a very good leadoff hitter. He's healthy, pleased to be healthy, and he's off to a good start. 32 steals a year ago. Oakland doesn't have much pop, so they need to play the short game, and Crisp is very adept at doing that.
Oakland A's have always been big on base percentage, take a lot of pitches. Let's see if we can get that starter out of the game by the 5th inning. But you're right, not a lot of pop.
Pop straight up. Over near first base, Adam Lind coming down. Makes the catch, 1 quick out.
Let's take a look at tonight's scouting report, brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. JoJo Reyes, he needs to establish the fastball. He was telling us in Florida that he loves to use that fastball. He's also got 5 good pitches. He's got the cutter, the slider, the curveball, and the changeup that he'll move in and out there. And I think he needs to pound down in that strike zone. If he does that, and that's his mantra right there, just pound that strike zone, keep it down.
We saw him do that all spring long. He misses with a fastball to Derek Barton, the first baseman. .273 a year ago for Barton. Always shows great patience at the plate. He'll work the count, get on base.
Always one of the better batters in the American League in pitches per at bat. Barton not afraid to hit with 1 strike.
Cut on and missed. One thing we have learned about JoJo Reyes watching him throughout the spring is he likes to work quickly and he likes to use his fastball.
He told us that. You know, we were talking to him about his game against the New York Yankees. And his ball had some great late life that night. And said, JoJo, what about your cutter? He goes, those were not cutters. Those were fastballs. He says, I like to establish my fastball. I like to use it plenty of times and plenty of counts. And his other stuff isn't too bad either.
Good fastball there. Barton's late on it. JoJo Reyes hasn't had a win in the major league since June 13th of 2008. That came as a member against the Atlanta Braves. Came in interleague play in Anaheim against the Angels. Pitched 8 innings of 5-hit ball. His spring numbers were impressive, and he actually won the competition for a spot in the rotation.
Maybe the surprise is the strikeouts per 9 innings for JoJo Reyes. Really hasn't been known as a power pitcher, but when you establish that fastball and you use it, you get a lot of strikeouts.
Well, the one thing he has in his favor tonight, too, against the Athletics lineup is Jose Molina behind the plate. He's certainly learned how to trust Molina. When he calls for a pitch, he'll stick with it. And all that JoJo has to do is think about executing. Right now, he's beating Barton with that good fastball.
92, 93 miles an hour with that fastball. That start he had against the Yankees, he was blowing some fastballs by A-Rod and Robbie Cano. It shows you the type of stuff that he possesses.
Another full count pitch. Driven toward left. Snyder retreats. He's got room. 2 outs. JoJo Reyes kept pouring that fastball to Derek Martin and finally picked up the out.
If you establish that fastball early and you don't give him too much to think about, second time through, third time through, maybe there's a couple of runners on. Now you can go to some of your other strikeout pitches, and that's certainly something that Reyes can do.
Connor Jackson steps in. 60 games with Arizona and Oakland last year. He rips the first pitch into center field. He was paying attention to Reyes using that fastball.
That's the first thing I thought about when he jumped all over that first pitch. He wasn't goofing around in that on-deck circle. He was watching and paying attention. First pitch fastball. And he's faced him over in the National League a few times. Nice short swing right back through the box.
Jackson's aboard with 2 outs for Josh Willingham. Willingham new to the Athletics this season. He too hacking at the first pitch, and why not? Willingham and David DeJesus both coming to the Athletics via trades. Willingham came from the Washington Nationals. DeJesus came from Kansas City. A ball on the strike. 2 outs here in the first inning. JoJo Reyes making his Blue Jays debut in the 4th game of the season.
This potentially has a good matchup, I think, for JoJo Reyes, because the Oakland A's are built more of taking pitches, trying to get deep into the count. When you've got a fastball pitcher, especially a guy who can pour it over there early in the count, I think the advantage goes to the pitcher.
Connor Jackson, not much of a base stealing threat. Just 2 steals last year, albeit he was injured much of the time, didn't play an awful lot. Just off the inside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There are 2 outs here in the first. Oakland lost 2 of 3 to the Seattle Mariners in their season opening series. Went too far. Reyes strikes out Willingham to end the first. Rajai Davis lead things off against his former team, trying to get on base and make something happen. Rajay Davis, who has missed the last 2 games with a sprained ankle. Then Escobar, Lind, and Hill, middle of the order. Juan Rivera in right field tonight. Remember, Jose Bautista is not with the ball club currently. Edwin Encarnacion moves to the DH spot. Snyder, Nix, and Molina round out the lineup.
Once a top prospect for the Chicago White Sox, Brandon McCarthy has battled injuries the last few years. This is his first start of the season. In fact, his first start since October of 2009. 22 starts over his last 3 seasons because of shoulder problems. He won a spot in this rotation with an outstanding spring.
A little different pitcher now than he was a couple of years ago. He is more of a sinker ball pitcher than a high fastball up over the top kind of guy.
That's right. When he came up with the White Sox, it was right over the top with a hard, high-rising fastball and a shoe-top drop curveball. Now he's more about cutters and sinkers. No more four-seam fastballs, he said.
Sharply hit, but right to second. Mark Ellis has it. Rajay Davis is retired.
Defensively for the Oakland A's, they have to figure out a way to catch the ball. They made 7 errors over the weekend versus Seattle, losing 2 out of 3 to the Mariners. Here's how they'll line up defensively. Connor Jackson, Coco Crisp, David DeJesus will play in right field. Around the infield, Kuzmanoff, LaRoche. You mentioned his first start at shortstop. Cliff Pennington with the night off. And tonight's battery, Brandon McCarthy and Kurt Suzuki.
Junel Escobar makes that high fastball. It'll be interesting to watch LaRoche. Should McCarthy pitch the way he would like, he should get some ground balls.
With all those cutters and sinkers.
Another ground ball, 2 in a row, right to the second baseman again. 2 outs.
Jays on Rogers Sportsnet, brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Adam Lind will bat with 2 outs. Lind off to a good start, 4 for 14 with a homer already this season. Everybody wants to get a feel for a pitcher. That first pitch is interesting, especially since they haven't seen McCarthy for a while. Another bouncing ball to first. Barton slipped as he set his foot, but he has time to recover, and 3 quick ground ball outs. Just 7 pitches for Brandon McCarthy to take care of the Blue Jays in the first. The Game Zone on Sportsnet.ca for live stats and live chats with Shai Davidi and Mike Wilner. Viewers are encouraged to participate. Just go to javeslive.sportsnet.ca and join in the fun during the game. Shai Davidi is always around the batting cage trying to gather up new information, and you can chat with him and see what's up. Mark Ellis, the second baseman, takes a first pitch strike. Ellis has hit in all 3 games so far this season. That stretches his hit streak, including last year, to 16 games.
That streak that you just saw right there is the longest streak covering 2 seasons in Oakland history. It's always been a very good hitter. Maybe not the power type of hitter, but a good second baseman. A guy who can move the bat, hit the ball around the whole field, and if you make a mistake, you can pop one.
And that's the one thing that has been a problem for Oakland in the last few years, is the lack of pop. They hit just 27 home runs in spring training. Drives this ball to right, but Juan Rivera's got plenty of room, camps under it, and retires Mark Ellis. 1 out. Talk about the Oakland Athletics and how they profile as a ball club. They certainly have the pitching. They're one of the best pitching staffs. They led the American League in ERA a year ago, but the offense hasn't been able to maintain pace. Something that they're trying to address. With that, they brought in some veteran players. You see where they rank in pitching. Starters are first in ERA, overall first in ERA. But you got to have some runs, and 13th in home runs, 11th in runs per game. That just won't do it.
I can understand the home runs, 13th, because of where they play. The Oakland Coliseum is a brutal place for an offensive player to try to hit a home run. But if you know that, you have to figure out ways to manufacture runs. In the last few years, they just haven't had those speed guys. Remember back the glory days of the Oakland A's back in the 70s and 80s?
Bouncing ball near second. Tough play for Escobar in time. And De Jesus is retired. Escobar looks so confident in the field.
Just watch his body language and the way he moves around. You can see him at the top of your screen. Get a good break, and then the quick feet. He's got one of the best arms as a shortstop in all of baseball. And to become more accurate, he's got to use his lower half. That's something they're trying to work on, and it showed right there.
2 quick outs here in the second. The catcher, Kurt Suzuki, takes a strike. Jojo Reyes continues to pitch the way we saw him pitch in Florida.
Come right after him. Finishing up that point about the A's, all those great teams, they always had players up and down the lineup who could hit and who could really run. Ricky Henderson comes to mind of the 80s teams. Campy Campaneris back in the 70s. Very underrated team when it comes to the speed aspect of it.
Billy North was on some of those teams with Campaneris. He too could fly, and they were always a distraction. John McDonald has been invited into that pitcher neighborhood, but I don't know who the newcomer is. Doesn't have a number. Sharply hit, fair ball inside the bag at third, all the way down the left field line. Suzuki is around first, headed to second. He'll get there with a stand-up double. 2 out double.
Yep, if you're going to give it up, you might as well give it up with 2 outs and nobody on. Tries to throw a breaking ball. Kurt Suzuki, an underrated hitting offensive catcher, gets it right past Nix, tonight's third baseman for the Blue Jays. Bounces around a little bit down in that corner.
Interesting that with Reyes off to a good start with his fastball, Nix was well off the line, not anticipating Suzuki pulling the ball. 2 outs now. Kevin Kuzminoff, the third baseman, takes a pitch inside. Kuzminoff was up in the heart of the order for this ball club last year, but with the additions, he's been dropped down low third of the order.
He's one of the players who has some home run pop in his bat.
16 homers a year ago. He drove in 71. He led the Athletics in home runs. Just missed. Another good fastball had his Malik life. 2 balls and a strike to Kevin Kuzminoff. Kurt Suzuki at second base. Good cutter right down and in, tied up Kuzminoff. Now we got a little bit better idea. The missing person, Jose Bautista, is present. In spirit, at least, and looks like Brandon Morrow on the right. They're both away from the club. Morrow is headed down to Florida to make his first rehab start on Thursday for Dunedin. This is a team. They stay together, even if they're apart.
How do they think of stuff like that when you're sitting on the bench?
Pitchers have a lot of time on their hands.
Yeah.
You know, they just think about different things and say, you know what, we got to have our teammates with us. And then they are always thinking of different things. Jesse Litch will get his season started tomorrow. He'll go up against Dallas Brayton in game 2 of this series. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Just down and in. Jam, little slow roller to short. Escobar with a good strong throw gets Kuzminoff. The Athletics get a 2-out double that they strand him. Aaron Hill, Juan Rivera, and Edwin Encarnacion will bat in the second. Send us a question to @BlueJays, and we'll read a few of them on the air a little later on. Just go to twitter.com/BlueJays. Lots of fans with their Blackberries out here at Rogers Center, and we'll try to answer some Twitter questions a little later on in the game. Brandon McCarthy had a 1-2-3 first inning, 3 ground ball outs. It's not unlike what the Blue Jays saw on Sunday from Nick Blackburn early in that ball game.
Come right after you. Not overpowering stuff. He's such a different pitcher, Brandon McCarthy, but lots of strikes.
Sharply hit, but right to the third baseman. Kuzminoff makes the catch.
So let's take a little closer look at tonight's starter for the Oakland Athletics. 6'7" Brandon McCarthy. Less is more. When he first came up, he was a power pitcher. Right over the top, fastball, curveball, but now he wants to take a little bit more off. He's got that high diving curveball, which is his out pitch, and he'll get a lot of strikeouts from it. And no free passes. This spring, he was very aggressive. He only had 1 base on ball all spring long. 11 all of last year.
Now, once you learn the value of keeping the ball in the strike zone, you generally cut down the walks dramatically, and McCarthy certainly has enough velocity and movement to stay in the zone. Juan Rivera, the right fielder.
McCarthy was talking about that this spring. He says he's trying to maximize his pitch efficiency, meaning more ground ball outs, more strikes, less effort on my part. I think that's a pretty good game plan if you've had so many surgeries on your arm.
Now, the one thing, too, the longer you stay out there, the better chance your team has to score runs for you. Stay on the mound, get a chance to win. A 4-pitch walk, just as we talked about how good his control was. Rivera gets the walk with 1 out. First Blue Jays base runner.
It's always like that, isn't it? We start talking about him throwing strikes. 1 walk in 26 spring training innings. There are his numbers in 8 games against the Blue Jays. Very respectable earned run average. He also racked up 20 strikeouts this spring.
Edwin Encarnacion takes the strike. Encarnacion was at third base yesterday. Or excuse me, on Sunday afternoon. He is the DH here tonight. Ground ball to Harper to third. Throw to second base in time. Back to first. Double play. Brandon McCarthy's doing a great job of keeping the Blue Jays on the infield. Double play ends the second. We have played 2 at Rogers Center. We are scoreless. Out at twitter.com/Blue Jays. Here's the first question tonight, Tabby. When do you think we'll see Brett Laurie? And that comes from, well, Danielle Laurie, 5. And if that's familiar, that's Brett's sister, Danielle. What do you think about when we might see Brett?
Well, he made such an impression, especially on the manager, John Farrell, who really has a big spot in his heart for Brett Laurie. I'm thinking maybe May, if they're, and that could change also. But if he gets off to a good start down in AAA and he shows that the improvement that you need to play in the big leagues, it wouldn't surprise me to see him here sometime in the month of May.
Andy LaRoche pulls it down into the left field corner, leading off the 3rd inning. Travis Snyder's throw to second, just in a bit late. LaRoche hustling. Kind of got surprised by the strong throw from Snyder. You talked about the defensive improvement of the left fielder.
That's right. Travis Snyder has always possessed a very strong arm, but this year what he is showing us is an accurate arm. And it took a lot of time, a lot of work in spring training with Torey Lovetto, the outfield coach, Dwayne Murphy, even Jose Bautista got into the act. He's using his legs a lot more. He is working through the ball, and his balls are coming up, his throws are coming up a lot more accurate this year.
Back to the top of the order, Coco Chris. There was no tail on that throw from Sider whatsoever. Right on the money at second. So now JoJo Reyes pitching for a third consecutive inning with a runner on base. Fouled off Molina. That rocked his world. Harry Cedarstrom, the umpire, certainly can empathize with Molina. Boy, that knocked him right on his heels.
Yeah, knocked him back.
He looks like he's okay because Reyes is having a laugh. He put his glove up over his mouth initially. Molina's had a few of those in his career. John Farrell out, Hap Hudson, the assistant trainer, both checking on the status of Molina. Same fraternity, umpires and catchers, so they can have a laugh. Yeah, people don't understand what we put up with back here, do they?
Hey, that you said it. Rock your world. That'll give you a wake-up call mighty quick.
On the ground to second. Hill keeps it on the infield from his knees in time to get crisp. On the play, LaRoche moves from second to third, but Harry Hill saved a run right there by diving and throwing out Coco Crisp.
And we all know that Crisp can really run. He dives, but he doesn't come up with it cleanly. Ball's laying at his side now. There's no panic in Eric Hill. He shows off that very strong arm to get the out, but there's the knockdown. Ball's right there, and then in one motion, he's able to get it over to Adam Lynn for the out at first base. Nice play right there by Aaron Hill.
Chris does his job. Now he has set the table for Derek Parton. Blue Jays will concede a run with the infield back. Any ground ball to the middle of the diamond should allow LaRoche to score from third. Jammed him with a fastball. He evens the count at a ball on the strike.
He led this team last year in slugging percentage and on-base percentage and walks. Got a very short swing. Tough to strike him out.
Good pitch right there. Caught the outside corner. Oakland has scored 11 runs in their first 3 games, but 7 of those runs came in the series finale against Seattle. They scored 7 runs and won 7-1. Now the infield's in with 2 strikes. Struck him out. Reyes reached back for a little extra and elevated that fastball to come up with a big strikeout.
Yeah, he doesn't strike out a lot, but you're right. Reyes reaches back for a little something extra. And how about the movement also against Barton up in the strike zone? That's something that Reyes can do. He can pitch up or down.
Connor Jackson had a first pitch single his first time up. You can bet Molina's made a note of that.
Change up or cutter in.
Can't hit that one. After 2 were out quickly, Jackson jumped on the first pitch and Reyes just let that one get away. And Connor Jackson wanted to do some damage on that high pitch, and Molina's encouraging Reyes to get the ball down.
Opened up those hips a little early and was thinking about putting one in the seats.
Ball on the strike. Reyes battling his command a little bit here early on. He's thrown 48 pitches already, and he was much more efficient throughout spring training. But there's a little bit more on line now, a little more adrenaline. And he's really not been in sync with his delivery tonight.
One of the things that we talked about in the first inning was him pounding down in the strike zone. Right now, it looks like he's trying to reach back, and he's gotten himself out of rhythm.
He takes something off and creates movement and throws a strike. Josh Willingham is on deck. 2 outs, full count. Andy LaRoche at third base. Base hit inside the foul line at third. That'll bring LaRoche home. Jackson's headed for second base. Here's the throw to second, off the mark. Backed up by Lind at first. Connor Jackson delivers his second hit. This one's a 2-out RBI double.
Those are the kind of hits that managers love. 2-out RBIs from the middle of that lineup. Looked like Reyes went back to that same pitch, off-speed pitch, and Connor Jackson, who's a very good hitter, bangs it down the left field line. I thought Snyder had a chance to get him, but I don't know if he got a very good grip on this ball. Watch him kind of double clutch, and the throw is offline.
Josh Willingham with Jackson at second. A's have taken a 1-0 lead. Ball is popped over near the Oakland dugout and back into the seats. 0-2. Willingham began his career with the Florida Marlins, made it to the big leagues in 2004. Spent 2 years in Washington with the Nationals. Always been a pretty good hitter, about 265, 270 hitter, and he's got some pop. 24 home runs in 2009 for Washington. His home run came opening day against Felix Hernandez. Right field. Rivera's got a strong arm. Here comes Jackson. He's getting stopped at third. Mike Gallego, the third base coach, threw up a late stop sign, acknowledging the strong arm of Rivera in right.
Yeah, he knows Juan Rivera in right field, but as a third base coach, you get down that line and you tell the runner that he is coming until I stop you, and he's going to judge where the ball is hit, how quickly Rivera gets to it, and if the throw is on line. It's a little bit offline, but in his mind, his runner didn't have a chance. As you see Connor Jackson hesitate just a little bit, Mike Gallego sending him, running with him, and then reads that the throw was going to get him at the plate, so he stops him.
Yeah, Gallego waved Jackson around the bag at third, but stayed near the baseline so he could see where Rivera was. The ball was hit right at Rivera, and that's the easiest throw for an outfielder.
Yeah, the one that you are coming in as opposed to going left to right. Good 2-strike approach right there by Willingham.
5 hits now for the Athletics. First and third for Mark Ellis. Ellis flew out to right field to start the second. It's away from Molina. Willingham was a little flat-footed at first base. He had a chance to move up on that ball.
Certainly did. That ball looked like it ricocheted somehow off of Molina towards the first base dugout and might have caught him by surprise.
Driven to left field. Snyder over. He's not going to get it. It's off the base of the wall. Jackson comes in to score quickly into second. There's the throw and the tag. And Ellis, he said he bobbled the ball. Lance Barksdale, the second base umpire, as Aaron Hill was fumbling to find the baseball, had lost control of the baseball when he made the tag. Barksdale, the first base umpire, came over to make the call.
Yeah, he's all over it, and I think it's a good call. Good heads-up play again by Snyder. They're really using him this time in this inning. You can see he's got plenty of time. He goes down to tag him, and the ball comes out of his glove.
Well, what a good call by the umpire. It just gets knocked out, and look at Hill. He just gloves it very quickly, but Lance Boxdale alertly saw the ball out of the glove.
Yeah, trying to sell it that he didn't drop it, but you can see on that replay clearly. Good heads-up play right there.
4 doubles for the Athletics, a team that managed just 84 extra base hits all spring long. Willingham's at third, Ellis at second, still 2 outs. Kept on the infield by Escobar to first base, not in time. What an effort by Junel Escobar. He saved 1 run. Willingham comes in to score on the infield hit. But if that ball gets through, it's 2 for sure. As De Jesus gets an infield hit and an RBI.
Good speed by De Jesus. What a play by Escobar. And he quickly gets to his feet. He's got the strong arm. But De Jesus just beats it with that good speed. Watch the stretch, and you can tell from the replay he is safe. Escobar showing off that good arm and good range.
2 outs now, 3 runs in here in the third. Kurt Suzuki, he's doubled already this evening. Hit a sharp double down into the corner in left field. Blue Jays bullpen going to work. Carlos Villanueva loosening up.
4 straight 2-out hits now by the Oakland A's.
Off the end of the bat, a ball and strike.
He was 1 strike away from getting out of this inning with no damage. Had 2 strikes on Connor Jackson. Just couldn't put him away, and now 4 hits. Has scored 2 runs.
3 runs on 7 hits for Oakland. Gloved by Nix at third. Nice play. On the money to retire Suzuki, but Oakland breaks through against Jojo Reyes. 3 runs on 5 hits. Oakland leads 3-0. live radio broadcast and receive batter-by-batter information for every game. At 2011 allows you to customize the app to receive Blue Jays specific news and alerts. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. JoJo Reyes, a little bit of a tough start to his outing here tonight. 3 runs on 5 hits in the 3rd inning. Oakland has jumped out to a 3-0 lead. It'll be Snyder, Nix, and Molina, bottom third of the order for the Blue Jays. Brandon McCarthy has kept the ball on the ground. And a good job. Got a double play off the bat of Edwin Encarnacion to end the 2nd. This one's popped in the air into foul territory. Kuzminoff makes the catch. Snyder's retired.
We were talking last inning about Brandon McCarthy and what a change he has become when he first came up with the Chicago White Sox. He led all minor leagues in strikeouts in 2004 with 202. That was the kind of pitcher that he was, but he was always wild, throwing lots of pitches per inning. He ended up getting traded to the Texas Rangers and suffered a lot of injuries when he was in that organization.
Texas gave up a couple of pretty good prospects for the trade of McCarthy. Young left-hander went from Texas to Chicago by the name of John Danks. He's done pretty well for the White Sox. That trade came back in 2006. McCarthy going to the Rangers. Another ball popped up into the outfield. David DeJesus makes the catch, and Jason Nix is retired. After the break, we will talk with John Farrell live as we get a chance to catch up with him about his thoughts to the start of this ball game. Maybe he can break down what he has seen from JoJo Reyes tonight and what has been the root of his problem. So join us when we come back after the break, and we'll catch up with the skipper. Jose Molina batting with 2 outs. Sharply hit. Kuzminoff dives for it. LaRoche behind him made a nice play. That's a tough play for a veteran shortstop. LaRoche starting for the first time. Quick inning. Just 6 pitches for Brandon McCarthy. When we come back, John Farrell, the manager, will join us. A little bit of a rough start to this ball game, and we are pleased to be joined now by the manager of the Blue Jays, John Farrell. And John, what have you seen different from JoJo Reyes compared to what you saw so consistently in Florida?
You know, Buck, he's just been up in his zone a little bit. He hasn't had a real good breaking ball where he's finished underneath the swing of the right-handers. We've seen a couple doubles down the left field line, and it's really been location. Stuff is still good. Pitcher
pitching in his American League debut, could he be too excited? And do you think he should throw some more changeup, use that because his fastball looks pretty good?
You know, Tabby, I'm sure he's amped up. You know, this is the first start for him this year, and you know, you're not going to guess or second guess selection. It's more location than anything.
John, thanks for your time.
Okay, guys.
And John Farrell and his thoughts on Reyes, and more than anything, like he said, it's location. And all spring long, JoJo had the ability to pound the ball down in the zone, and it's been up a little bit, and it's cost him 7 hits in 3 innings. He'll try to straighten things out. I had a little bit of a conversation with Jose Molina in between innings. Kevin Kuzminoff swings at the first pitch and rips it foul out of play. Kuzminoff grounded to short his first time up. As we mentioned, Kuzminoff led the Athletics with 16 homers a year ago. Quite a disparity between the Athletics and the Blue Jays in the power department, of course. There's a breaking ball just fair down the third base line. Kuzminoff into second base will stand up with the leadoff double.
They have been wearing out that left field line down in that left field corner already just through 4 innings. Looked like a cutter or a slider down and in, and Kuzminoff pulls those hands and doesn't hit it that hard, but he just hits it perfectly right over the back.
Not much Jason Nix can do about this. He got a pretty good jump on it. Just went over the corner of the bag at third. 5th double of the night already for Oakland. Andy LaRoche, the number 9 hitter, doubled and scored in the third. Sharply hit through the infield into center. Here comes Kuzminoff around to score. It is 4-0 Oakland. Right now the Athletics are all over JoJo Reyes. They're really seeing the ball well.
After they won their game on Sunday back in Oakland, and this is their first road trip of the season, the A's, when you read all the articles, they were saying we want to get off to a good start on the road. We didn't play very well on the road last year. One of the problems was they didn't hit the ball very well last year on the road. Well, so far they're starting off on this long road trip hitting the ball nicely.
34-47 a year ago away from Oakland. Back to the top of the order. Coco Crisp had a productive out in the third inning, grounded to second to move the base runner LaRoche from second to third. That started the 3-run inning. Right in on his hands and fouls it up. Coco Crisp just anxious to stay healthy. Last couple of years he's been plagued by injuries, and boy, when he stays in the lineup he can put up some numbers. There's a good breaking ball. That pitch had some depth and Crisp strikes out.
More importantly, where it was when it ended up. Those are the kind of pitches that John Farrell wants to see down in the strike zone around the knees.
First out of the inning. Derek Barton pulls back from an inside strike. Barton 0 for 2. Molina trying to incorporate the breaking ball a little more here. Blue Jays bullpen is up again for a second time. Carlos Villanueva is throwing. Three balls and a strike. Really been a rough start for JoJo Reyes. He's never really gotten into a groove, and quite contrary to what we saw all spring long.
Pounded in, pounded down. Kept the ball out of the middle of the plate too, which was very important. Didn't walk a lot of guys.
Now there's a walk with one out here, and it looks like that's going to be it for JoJo Reyes. A disappointing start to his Blue Jays career. John Farrell is out, and he has made the call to the bullpen. Oakland has jumped on Reyes. 4 runs on 9 hits. He's responsible for the 2 runners on base. It'll be Carlos Villanueva when we come back. Oakland leads it 4-0.
It's a Rogers double.
Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
New pitcher for the Blue Jays is 27-year-old Carlos Villanueva, coming over from Milwaukee in the offseason. He was traded for a player to be named later back in December. He has made 1 appearance, pitched on opening night here Friday night, threw the ball very well.
One of the long men out of the bullpen for John Farrell. Villanueva will pick up JoJo Reyes, and when you're a long man out of the bullpen, you have to be able to get a couple of pitches over for strikes, and Villanueva can do that. He's got an outstanding changeup. Good breaking ball, and his splits versus lefties and righties are excellent, and I think it's because of that good changeup that he has.
Connor Jackson 1 for 4 in his head-to-head matchups against the Blue Jays right-hander. Breaking ball just off the plate. Jackson off to a fast start here tonight. Single in the first. RBI double and scored in the 3rd inning. First and second, 1 out. Bounced and caught by Molina. We're in the 4th inning. Molina getting the start tonight. He caught game 2 on Saturday, hitting his first home run of the season. The plan initially is for Molina to catch 2 days of the 5-man rotation. And there's a walk issued by Connor Jackson. Back-to-back walks now in the 4th inning. We mentioned Willingham was brought over to Oakland to provide a little bit of pop in the middle of the order. Had a base hit in the 3rd inning. Pops this one up. Snyder, Davis calling for it. Tagging at 3rd is LaRoche. Throw from Davis will be cut off by Lind, and it's a 5-0 game.
This team, the Oakland A's, built on a very good young pitching staff and a very deep bullpen. Their whole idea last year was to try and get some offense. So they went out and got some established veterans to help them score more runs. Last year on the road, they averaged just over 3 runs a game. which was their lowest total since 1978 when they averaged 3.06 runs a game on the road. The veterans having some good at-bats here tonight.
Another veteran that played in Mark Ellis looks at a first pitch strike. Ellis had an RBI double. That extends his hit streak going back to last year to 17 games. Oh, and 2. Hey, Jesse. Casey Jansen and Dave Percy loosening up down in that bullpen. Reached for Adam Lynn with a nice diving grab to rob Ellis of a base hit. Then getting more comfortable by the day at first base, but the Oakland Athletics strand a pair. Good defensive play. Gets being waved out of the inning. Davis grounded out his first time up.
Important this inning for the Blue Jays not to think about the home run. They got to figure out a way to get on base. First of all, Saul Brandon McCarthy, the way he's been throwing strikes.
Ball and a strike, and we are pleased to be joined in the broadcast booth now by Dave Parker. Dave, it's great to see you, and both of these teams you got a little connection with, right?
Yeah, I don't know who to root for, if anybody at all.
There's a ground ball tapped to short. Dave, tell us what brings you to Toronto. You're involved with a great cause here in Toronto with Strikeout Cancer.
Yeah, Strikeout Cancer organization for Mount St. Hospital.
Mount Sinai Hospital
Mount
here in Toronto.
Mount Hospital in Toronto. I'm up here for that. I've been here up since about 5 this morning, so I'm a little brain dead.
So it's going to be a celebrity baseball tournament, I understand, and try to raise some money and try to continue the fight to strike out cancer?
Yes. My sister's a cancer survivor, so, you know, it's close to my heart because she survived. She took the radiation treatments, which beat up her body, and had her feeling pretty ill for a while. But the research and the work that they've done with the Cancer Society has definitely worked extremely well.
Another bouncing ball. This one will sneak through first base hit of the ball game by Junel Escobar. A one-out ground ball single to center.
Dave, how long have you been involved with Strikeout Cancer?
Well, I've been involved with a cancer organization in California for a lot of years. We used to do a similar thing up at Cal Berkeley University, and we would do it with Safeway Foods, which we did about 15 years. This is the first time I understand that they had an event like this up in Canada, so this is the first, and I'm glad I'm a part of it.
Well, you have strong ties to both these teams, as we mentioned, of course, Toronto in '91, I believe, and then in Oakland, several years in Oakland, but your roots, to me, are always Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah.
Great Pirate team that you guys had, and I guess it's kind of got to be a kind of a sad state of affairs to see a former team the way they've struggled the last several years.
Well, that's true. They have struggled. I think they're going into like the 17th year. If they don't get over 500 this year, it's been 17 years. And the organization have so much tradition to have a product like that on the field. I think that they really are forced in a situation to spend some money and get what they need.
What made those teams so great back in the day?
Well, a guy by the name of Stargell, Matlock, and we really believed that we represented the city. We tried to throw everything on the field, including the kitchen sink, and I think just the will of the fans and the will of us as a team made the team great.
You guys had so many great players, but you pushed one another as well, didn't you? You took a lot of pride in maintaining that team approach. Blue Jays are trying to build that with some young players now.
Right. Well, Chuck Tanner, he said he governed with one eye and one ear, where he didn't see everything and didn't hear everything. And, he told us he put the responsibility on us to govern each other, and I think that worked extremely well.
There's a base hit off the bag at first base. Escobar going around second, headed for third. Blue Jays got something going here with one out in the fourth. Adam Lynn hit a shot off the bag at first.
That's a run if it doesn't hit the bag and bounce out into short right field. He hits the ball very hard. Tremendous sound as he rifles it off the bag and follows it out into right center field. The ball gets by him, and Escobar is going to score easily, but this is what the Blue Jays have to do. A hit here, a knock there, maybe a walk here, and then you can think about the home run.
Or a Dave Parker 3-run shots to the seats. Parkway, you could do that with ease.
Well, I did it, and it came around at a time Stargell said that it would. He said that, I was a line drive hitter coming in the league in my 20s. He said, pretty soon you're going to get an arc in your swing and start hitting home runs, and I did.
That's interesting because we have seen that with some players in the past where they say, well, he doesn't have any power, didn't hit in the minor leagues. But why did Stargell think that would come around in your stroke?
Well, just watching me, we studied each other. He used to get me out of slumps. He was actually my hitting instructor, and I used to get him out of slumps because we studied each other's swing.
You played on the We Are Family team in 1979, won it all.
Right.
Did you feel like you had the most talent, or was it the chemistry of your team that helped you guys win it all?
I think it was the chemistry. It was a small thing to turn that series around. When we were down 3-1, they introduced Baltimore's lineup, and Pat Kelly was hitting third, and he came out and did a little dance on the foul line. And everybody jumped up and yelled at him at the same time, and that just gave us a little And we went on to win that game and ended up coming back winning 3 out of the games that we needed.
The fat lady hadn't even started to sing, huh?
Not at all. he must have been dancing to one of her tunes.
Bounced to short. The roads to one. That's all they're going to get. Hill will pick up the RBI. The Blue Jays break through. Junel Escobar comes in to score. Another ground ball thrown by McCarthy. Hill got jammed, but picks up the run.
Any way to get that runner in from third base in less than 2 out. Dave, what are you doing now?
Well, I'm in the fast food industry. I own Popeye Chicken franchise, and I've been doing that and trying to get back in baseball. Matter of fact, I brought 2 resumes with me tonight. I'm going to give each of you guys one. So I'm trying to get back in baseball, and it'll probably be with the Pirates, if anybody.
There goes Hill, and he'll steal second base. He moves into scoring position. Blue Jays not waiting back, waiting for the long ball.
You can't. You have to make something happen, and we've talked about it all spring long. Picks a good pitch, a breaking ball from McCarthy, doesn't pay attention to him, and Aaron moves into scoring position.
Outside corner. Stay tuned. Coming up, a connected update with Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn from the brand new BlackBerry broadcast studio here at Rogers Center. A ball and a strike, 2 out to 1. Rivera Blue Jays have pushed a run across here in the 4th. Aaron Hill with an RBI on a fielder's choice. Moved into scoring position with a stolen base. Rivera lays off the outside pitch. Dave Parker's with us up in Toronto to bring attention and awareness to strikeout cancer, a baseball celebrity tournament that will take place benefiting Mount Sinai Hospital on May 14th and 15th this summer.
You playing in that game?
Yeah, I'm playing, but I got a pinch run. Sure.
I know you got a couple of new knees, don't you?
Yeah, I just got one. I got one. The left one has been good. You know, the right one's been good. The left one was a bad one. But, you know, I tell people all the time, if you find a player that has a bad left knee, he had a good career. If you find a player with a bad right knee, he was making the wrong turn.
3 balls in his strike. Rivera pulls it to a diving Kuzminov. Rights himself, throws a strike. What a good defensive play. Dave Parker, thanks. Good luck to strikeout cancer. Great to see you again, Parker.
Nice seeing you always.
I'll see you around town.
All right.
Back home in Cincy.
All right.
Now it's time for a connected update with Jamie and Greg live from the brand new BlackBerry broadcast studio. Rogers Center, twitter.com/Blue Jays. And here's a question from AlleyCat17. How does the Jays defense compare this year to last year's club in your mind?
Incomplete. We don't know because they have so many different changes beginning of this season. Adam Lind is over at first base. Now they lost a couple of very good fielders from last year's team. Lyle Overbay was an excellent first baseman. Vernon Wells was a Gold Glove center fielder. So we're going to have to see how this one plays out. They have enough athletes out there to be a good fielding team.
Another uncertainty, of course, is J.P. Aronsebu behind the plate. Last year, the Blue Jays had the veteran John Buck, who got better and better as the season went on.
We'll know in a couple of months as we watch them play day in and day out what type of fielding team. I think they've got some good athletes, though. They have the potential to be a good fielding team.
Carlos Villanueva threw a breaking ball. Molina didn't touch it. And they asked for the appeal at third down to Adrian Johnson, and he said no swing. So De Jesus has a 2-ball-and-1-strike count here. De Jesus had an infield single, picked up an RBI in the third inning. Athletics have had a little bit of everything offensively. 2 out hits, hit 5 doubles in this game, had a sac fly off the bat of Josh Willingham. A leadoff walk. Well, we mentioned the defense. It's an ongoing process here as Brian Butterfield has had an awful lot of extra work early in the afternoon here today.
This was about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and they were talking about that play where you flip the ball over to the pitcher covering on a 3-1 move. One of the things that they've been working with is Adam Lynn tends to go back far. He's got a high back swing when he tries to throw the ball. You don't want to go back far, and you don't want to finish high when you're lobbing the ball to the pitcher.
Just too much margin of error when you do that. More like a bowler casting the ball instead of a second baseman just shoveling the toss to his shortstop counterpart. That's what they're trying to get with Lynn.
Very similar as the second baseman and the shortstop working on a double play flip.
Good breaking ball to Suzuki. Kurt Suzuki, the catcher, 1 for 2. On the corner, 0-2.
That's one thing that you will get from Villanueva. He will throw a lot of strikes. Surprised that he has faced 4 batters and he's walked 2 of them. In his career, he's always been a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Yeah, either starting or relieving. The strike zone hasn't been a problem for him.
On the ground, this should be 2. Escobar to Hill for 1. Back to first, double play. The leadoff walk erased immediately. Villanueva got the ground ball, and then the infield took over.
Yeah, keep those infielders engaged, throw a lot of strikes, catch it, and that's an easy one. Tailor-made double play right at Escobar.
2 down. Third baseman Kevin Kuzminoff. We mentioned both Suzuki and Kuzminoff last year for the Athletics hit up in the order. This year, because of the acquisitions, they've been able to hit down in the order, a little more out of the spotlight, if you will.
Take those RBIs, Kuzminoff, and his 16 home runs, and give him a little thump at the bottom.
Breaking ball, fouled out of play. Well, if you're Carlos Villanueva, you've got to think if you can put up a couple of zeros on the scoreboard, there are enough bats in this Blue Jays lineup to erase a 4-run deficit.
Always a threat of those home runs, even without Jose Bautista.
Whoops. All the way back to the backstop. Molina was late getting that glove up. I don't know if he anticipated something other than that fastball, or else he was sitting on the inside corner. Breaking ball in the dirt. Villanueva is 27 years old. This is his 5th big league season. He spent his previous major league time in Milwaukee. Appeared in 50 games a year ago with the Brewers. Got him. Big cut fastball up to point. Late movement gets the strikeout. Good inning for Villanueva. Now the hitters will have to take over. It'll be Edwin Encarnacion starting things off. pleased to be joined by Dave Parker, trying to bring some awareness. The Strikeout Cancer Foundation will have a celebrity baseball tournament. It'll be May 14th and 15th. And on the 17th, there'll be a Grand Slam Gala featuring the band Chicago. Some of the great baseball legends that will be involved: Roberto Alomar, Andre Dawson, Gary Sheffield, David Justice, Brett Saberhagen, Gary Carter, Eddie Murray. A lot of celebrities involved to raise awareness to help strike out cancer in support of Mount Sinai Hospital. Andre Dawson and Dave Parker at Rogers Center tonight to try to raise awareness and let everybody know that that event's going to take place in May. A 5-1 ball game. Edwin Encarnacion hits it but gets jammed and hits the fly ball to left. One out here in the 5th.
Blue Jays have put the ball in play all night against Brandon McCarthy. He has been able to keep the ball off the barrel of the bat. You see his great late movement. Again, he was talking no more four-seam fastballs. It's cutter, slider.
Location and movement, very important, and obviously a great way for McCarthy to recapture his big league career. Spent the entire 2010 season in the minor leagues.
3 shoulder surgeries last year alone for Brandon McCarthy. We've talked about it before on the air about your shoulder. When you've got problems with that shoulder, it's so tough to come back.
Well, there's so many muscles involved in first the acceleration and then the deceleration. The front and back of the shoulder all becomes part of what they call the rotator cuff, and lots of things going on. Out in front of that ball, hit it a long way, but foul.
Proves to you that you can use 2 pitches, and I know he has more pitches, but he said sinkers and cutters, and I'm just going to use those. I'm going to change speeds with it. I'm going to let them hit the ball and keep my pitches down. I'm impressed with what I have seen from him.
Another lazy pop-up. Kuzmanov in foul ground. 2 quick outs here in the 5th. Well, it's a good way for McCarthy to answer after the Blue Jays got a run last inning. He comes right out and retires the first 2 batters he's faced here.
Everything is around the strike zone. One time the fastball will be 90. The next time it might be 87. No strikeouts and just 1 walk now. It's pretty efficient pitching.
Cut fastball up and away. You can see it's not going to light up the radar gun. 90 miles an hour, but it's the late movement that's been so effective for McCarthy here tonight.
Another thing that he did last year at the end of the season, we talked about the shoulder injuries. He went to winter ball. Went down and pitched in the Dominican and made 4 starts down there and pitched very well. ERA under 2. He was 2-0. Showed that he was healthy, and I think that's the main thing.
I think anybody that has had success in the major leagues understands that if you can prove you're healthy again, you're going to get a chance. Look at the Yankees, what they've done.
Wow.
People they have picked up, brought to camp. Freddie Garcia, Bartolo Colon, Mark Pryor,
Kevin
Millwood most recently. Jason Nix waits back on a breaking ball and singles it into left field. 2-out base hit for Nix.
Trying to upset his timing, but Nix showing a pretty good hitter here early in the year. Watch how he stays back on that off-speed pitch. His front leg is down and his weight is starting to shift, but the bat was still back and he's able to flick it into the field for a hit.
Jose Molina trying to keep things alive here in the 5th. Blue Jays have a stolen base. Hill stole second in the 4th. McCarthy's going to keep close eye on Nix at first.
That 1 stolen base alerts the whole team that, okay, they're going to try and do something no matter the score. don't think he's going to walk too many people. So the Blue Jays are going to have to hit their way back into this game.
And the one thing that has been a concern for Oakland early on is the bullpen. They've been hit around a little bit the first 3 games of the season. And they don't have the great closer, Andrew Bailey. He's on the disabled list with arm problems. 0-2.
It's amazing what happens when you lose your big guy at the end of the bullpen. And everybody has to change roles just a little bit.
Out of their comfort zone.
Out of their comfort zone. They're asked to do something that they're not used to doing.
Brian Fuentes there, the closer for the time being, signed as a free agent. Brad Ziegler to his right has had some success down in that pen. They've got some arms, but they've just gotten off a little bit of a rough start. Grant Balfour also signed as a free agent to add some depth. There goes Nix. Molina strikes out. That'll end the inning. So Brandon McCarthy, a very solid 5 innings of work to start the game. Andy LaRoche will be the leadoff batter when we come back.
We have another question. Have Adam Lind and Aaron Hill shown signs already this year that their seasons will be better than last year? This is from Blue Jay Gal. Buck, you had a chance to watch the two of them for a long time in spring training. What'd you see?
Yeah, I saw a couple of guys that have a pretty good idea what they need to do to be effective and get back to where their careers suggest they should be. When you think about Lind, he was 50 points below his career average last year. Hill was 65 below his career average. And I think for Hill, most definitely, he's got to hit strikes. Last year, he got chasing a little bit too much. And for Adam Lind, I think we see that he's upright, a little more comfortable, can get the bat through the zone and handle pitches on both sides of the plate early on.
Had a chance to watch them for a few games in the spring and then put my eyes on them the last week of spring training. And so far this year, I think both of them are going to be the type of players that we saw a couple of years ago, very productive hitters.
The one thing that's encouraging, too, is they were both off to decent starts. They both now have driven in 3 runs apiece, and that's what they're here for. They've got to drive in runs. They've got to be run producers. I don't think anybody's concerned about their average as long as they drive in runs. Carlos Villanueva looks like he's found his stride here.
Had a chance to talk with Pat Henkin today, and I asked him about Villanueva, and he said he's a pro. He just knows his role, what he has to do. He'll get himself ready. He'll watch the game and watch the lineup, where they are in the lineup, thinking about matchups and things like that. And he'll be ready anytime to go ahead and call on it.
Villanueva made 9 starts for the Brewers in 2008. Pitched in 47 games that year. Had a career high 64 appearances in 2009. Mostly out of the bullpen. There's a big breaking ball, and LaRoche chases Molina to first base for the out. Second strikeout for Villanueva since he's come into the game.
When you're a starter and you can move to the bullpen, you can bring your full repertoire out of that bullpen. When you are a long man, it's a good breaking ball. It's tight and it's late and in a good spot with 2 strikes. Out of the strike zone, see if you can get that hitter to chase. You add to that a very good changeup that he'll throw at any time, and a good long man.
Coco Crisp will turn around and bat as a left-handed hitter for the first time tonight. Well, Jose Molina is going to wonder, what did I do to these guys? That one looked like it got him right in the chest protector. Knocked him off his feet. Second time tonight he's been drilled by a foul ball.
I think it was Coco Crisp the last time he was at the plate and fouled one back. He was in the right-handed batter's box that time.
Hit him that way, please. No more back this way.
He's saying we need a screen. This was back in the 4th inning with Coco Crisp hitting right-handed. A little help from Gary Cedarstrom to hold him up. And then the one we just saw.
Both times it was Coco Crisp. Give you an idea just how big Gary Cedarstrom is. He didn't have any problem picking up Jose Molina.
Jose is big too, strong.
Ball and a strike, 1 out. Crisp hits a high pop-up, shallow right field. Hill back in fair territory. Makes the play, 2 outs. 6th inning here at Rogers Center. Oakland scored 3 in the 3rd, added 2 more in the 4th. Blue Jays got their only run on a fielder's choice off the bat of Aaron Hill. A's first baseman Derek Barton.
Not afraid to hit with two strikes. Not afraid to hit with 1 strike. Great on base percentage last year at .393, which was 5th best in the American League. He'll see a lot of pitches every time he goes up there.
Well, you can see how Villanueva can attack any part of the strike zone with a combination of different pitches. He's ahead of Barton, a ball and 2 strikes. Left-hander David Percy is yet to see action this season, beginning to loosen up. Two balls, 2 strikes. Cut on and missed. Barton goes down swing. Second time he's struck out tonight. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Villanueva. Top of the order when we come back. Blue Jays trail by 4. shares in the TD Comfort Zone are Blue Jay Twitter followers. The TD Comfort Zone, courtesy of TD. Cliff Pennington, the shortstop, comes off the bench to take over defensively for Andy LaRoche, who had a good game.
Yeah, he certainly did. A couple of base hits and flawless in the field at shortstop.
Top of the order, time for the Blue Jays to make something happen, get back in this ball game. Rajay Davis, 0 for 2 so far. Sharply hit, fair ball inside the bag at third. All the way down the left field line, Davis cruising around the bases. He'll stand up at second with a leadoff double.
Rajay was out here also to test his ankle this afternoon, but also working on bunting for a base hit. You can see the third baseman, Kuzminoff, in respecting his ability to drag a bunt, and that helps him to get that ball by him and down the left field line for extra bases. No problem in his gait right there as you see him come around first base. He looks healthy to me.
Sure does, and training staff very conscientious, making sure he was okay. He talks about making the adjustment of playing on the artificial surface, 81 home games, and just a little bit firmer, a little bit harder on your body, but he appears to be fine. Junel Escobar, 4th inning single. Big time for the Blue Jays through this order. Leadoff double. Take advantage of it. Try to cut into this deficit.
Lots of room in left center field for Junel Escobar if he can get one up and pull it. They paid him to right field.
Davis had a big jump and he scampers back now. And a running lead toward third, and McCarthy did a good job of keeping his eye on him.
A lot of times pitchers will panic a little bit and start their windup and be called for a balk. Stayed under control, stepped off, and tried to pick him off back at second. Nobody out. You don't want to get thrown out on the bases.
Grounded to third. Booted. Here comes Davis, and he's going to stop at third. Rajay Davis did a good job of creating some havoc at shortstop. Escobar got jammed and hit a big bouncing ball. Kuzminoff came across, and just as the ball got to his glove, Davis cut in front of it.
Yeah, you got to think that it might have distracted the third baseman of the A's just a little bit right there. Maybe he cuts in front of him, blocks his view of the baseball, but it bounces off the heel of his glove into short left field.
You can see Davis running inside the base path to make sure that he allowed Kuzminoff the opportunity to field that ball. Here come the Blue Jays. Popped out of play. Escobar had a huge jump at first. Kuzminoff makes a catch. Davis tags. He's going to score. Kuzminoff throws it right into the ground. Very alertly, Rajay Davis tagged up on the pop-up and broke immediately as Kuzminoff fell down once he caught it.
And so did Junel Escobar, the runner over at first base. You said it. He took off and got a huge jump, but then is aware that he's got to go back and tag. Both runners have to tag first and third situation, pop up down the line. Kuzminoff thought about throwing it and then tried to hold up and threw it right into the ground. Good play, good awareness where he is on the field. Right there, I think he tried to throw it and then said, thought better of it, and it went right in the ground.
A lot of good things happen with the baseman. Look at backfield telling Escobar, go back and tag. Now Davis keeps his eye, and when he sees Kuzminoff fall down, he breaks for home. But give Escobar credit for going all the way back and still advancing to second. The running game has the A's a little bit unsettled.
I think that's going to happen to a lot of teams when you play this style, this brand of baseball. Escobar is liable to take off at second base.
Hills picked up an RBI on a fielder's choice.
You know what it does also to the pitcher? It gets him out of his rhythm. Instead of just standing out there and just pumping fastball and breaking ball, and he's getting into a nice rhythm, he's got to come to a stretch. He's got to take a couple of looks and dance off there. And now the ball starts finding its way out of the strike zone.
Well, I just go back to spring training and remember all the base running meetings the Blue Jays had. Torey Lovello, Brian Butterfield, making sure base runners understood. Always think about how you can move up 90 feet, and that's exactly what Escobar did. Base hit into left field. Escobar had to wait. He's getting the go-ahead. Here's the throw. Connor Jackson's throw is cut off. Hill picks up the RBI. It's a 2-run game.
It might not sound like a lot. Well, he moved up 90 feet, but he moved up into scoring position. Anytime you can do that, you're going to get yourself in a scoring position, and people like Aaron Hill are going to take advantage of it. 2-0 fastball, back part of the bat, he hits it hard. Escobar's got to make sure it makes it into the field, but with Jackson moving to his left and that good speed, he's going to score easily.
How many times in the past have you seen a base runner stop because he has to hold up and then not think about scoring? Escobar had his mind set on scoring, even though he had to make sure that ball was safely down on the ground. Thrown away. Hill's got a chance to go to third. He's getting the stop sign from Butterfield.
That'll go as an error 1. We told you that the A's had committed 7 errors over the weekend and losing 2 out of 3 to the Seattle Mariners, and right now it's coming unglued here in the 6th inning. There's another example of what speed can do to disrupt. It forces the opposition to make plays, and right now the A's aren't making plays.
Hill dives back in. Barton can't make a play on the errant throw. It's a big error and another runner in scoring position for the Blue Jays. And get used to this, folks. Rajay Davis leading off the inning, got the inning started. A leadoff double. 1 out, Juan Rivera with Hill at second. Rajay enjoying his first start since the opener. Sprained his ankle Monday or Friday night against the Minnesota Twins. Bounce to third. Kuzmanov deep at third. In the dirt, bounced, and another error. Kuzmanov very tentative with the throw. Handcuffed Barton over at first, and Rivera is safe.
A little collision at first base between Barton and Rivera. Bob Guerin is saying, okay, what's going on? Rounded to Kuzmanov. Thinking about throwing it on a fly, but bounces it. And Barton can't come up with it, and he just scrapes the bag with his back foot. Right there.
Error on the third baseman, Kuzmanov. 2 more errors tonight. Kuzmanov's committed 4 errors, second tonight. As a team, Oakland has already committed 9 errors. This is just their 4th game. Excuse me, 3 tonight. Again, that's 10 errors in just over 3.5 games.
And this has been a good fielding team over the years, this Oakland A team. Looking for that one big hit. Seemed like the game on Sunday, the Blue Jays had multiple opportunities to come up with that one base hit that would win the game for them. Here's another one.
There it is, down the left field line. Hill's coming in to score. Rivera going to third, and Encarnacion delivers an RBI double. 5-4 Oakland. Edwin Encarnacion with the RBI.
Just waiting for a pitch inside where he could pull. Threw him a breaking ball the first pitch in this at-bat, but then has got to come in with a fastball. They wanted it down and away, but it's belt high, middle in. And Encarnacion rifles it into the corner in left field. Blue Jays now down by 1 run.
Travis Snyder now with a chance to give the Jays the lead. Tapped foul at home. Snyder's popped up twice.
Jays through the first 3 games have done an excellent job of scoring that runner from third base with less than 2 outs.
Brad Ziegler, the right-hander, loosening up. McCarthy was breezing through the first 5 innings. Bounced on the ground, that'll tie it up. Rivera comes in to score, and we're knotted at 5. Snyder gets the RBI.
Sometimes that's all it takes. Make contact, get the ball on the ground, get him over, get him in. Snyder beats the ball on top of it. Hits it right at the second baseman and hustles all the way. It's another aspect of this team that we have seen the first couple of games of the season.
Tough inning defensively for Oakland. Jason Nix hammered a breaking ball into left field his last time up. That came in the 5th. Edwin Encarnacion at third represents the go-ahead run. Go crisp in center field. The Athletics are out of the 6th, but the Blue Jays score 4 runs. Take advantage of some shaky A's defense. We've played 6 at Rogers Center. We're tied at 5. There you see his numbers in 33 games with Blue Jays a year ago. Percy, a hard-throwing left-hander, now pitching here in the 7th in a tie game.
He's always had a very good arm, David Percy. The problems that he has had in the spring, at times he looked tremendous. There was a game, I remember, he came in, struck out the side. There was also a game where he came in and walked a few batters. So David Percy possesses a big league arm. Right now his job is to throw strikes and keep it where it is right here.
Carlos Villanueva did his job. 2 2/3 innings of hitless relief. Get his club back in this game.
3 strikeouts. He did have a couple of walks, but he came back and got the big double play when he needed to.
Tyler Jackson's had a perfect night. Single, double, and a walk. Scored one, driven in one. On the corner. Oakland's going to have to fix their defense. They've got too good a pitching. And you get balls on the ground, you have to get outs. 10 errors already this young season.
Quickest way.
Bounce to short. Big hop for Escobar.
Quickest way to defeat a young pitching staff is to have shoddy defense. Especially the type of staff that the Oakland A's have put together.
Yeah, guys that get the ball on the ground, they change speeds, they get a lot of balls off the end of the bat, they jam hitters. They start seeing that defense throw it around and not making plays. They're going to try to strike people out, and they're not that type of staff.
Yeah, we'll see on Thursday afternoon Trevor Cahill, and Dallas Braden tomorrow. Prime examples of guys who need to use their defense.
And Brandon McCarthy did a heck of a job tonight getting the ball on the ground. That's exactly the way he wanted to pitch, and he did a good job of it. And the team couldn't take advantage of his good outing as they kicked the ball around. 3 errors in that 4-run inning. I've been impressed with McCarthy's movement. He has revamped himself. It looks like he's on the right track. How encouraging is it for this ball club to come back from a deficit? They're down 5-0 at one point, and they have made it a 5-5 game here.
Sometimes it's easy when a pitcher is cruising, like we were talking about with McCarthy, that you guys just say, okay, forget about it. We're going to go and get him tomorrow. But something about this team tells me that they're going to make you earn all 27 outs.
Yeah, I get a sense, and it's early on. We certainly haven't seen the entire personnel in this club just yet, but I get a sense that there's no get him tomorrow in that clubhouse.
Agreed. Every at bat is important. They're not going to give away at bats.
Full count. Aaron Hill with a couple of ribbies tonight. Up one on a fielder's choice. And then he ripped his single into left field. Got him. What an explosive fastball. Gets Josh Willingham. That ball just busted inside, caught the inside corner. Percy's first strikeout of the season.
He is anywhere between 92 and 95 miles an hour. You can see it just clips the inside part of the plate. Willingham thought it was in, but Percy nails it with some help from his catcher, Jose Molina.
2 outs. Mark Ellis, the second baseman. One for 3 tonight. RBI double in the third.
This is what the Blue Jays want to see from David Percy. No tricks. His stuff is good enough that he can just throw it, use the movement, use the breaking ball, but his fastball's got so much light to it.
And he's an imposing figure on the mound. Left-hander, tough to pick up the ball out of his delivery. Comes downhill, good late movement on his fastball. Hitters just don't see him well.
Yeah, they don't look comfortable in the batter's box against him.
And you hit against guys like this, normal left-handers, and you and I both love to face left-handers, but there were certain guys that didn't feel left-handed.
He's one of them. You're right. You just have trouble picking up the ball against guys like this. If he ever came up with like a consistent cutter, where something that he can get in on right-handers, reminds me a lot of Jim Abbott when Jim Abbott was pitching. Heavy baseballs with good hard movement. All of a sudden the ball on top of it.
Physically the same type of presence on the mound. Big, strong, stripping guy. comes at you. And you're right, you just don't feel comfortable against them. A lot of left-handers, guys were running to the batter's box to hit against them.
I was one of them.
Not Percy. 1-2. Cut on and pulled deep, but foul down the left field line.
David throws a slider, which is a little bit different than a cutter. Cutter looks like a fastball. Hitter says, okay, fastball in, you start to swing, and the next thing you know, it's on your thumbs. Just below or above your hand.
Ellis is putting up a fight. Got to the breaking ball inside and pulled it foul, and then stays on an outside fastball.
7 pitch at bat now for Ellis. 4 of them fouled back.
Jesse Litch goes to the mound for his season debut tomorrow. He'll be matched up against the left-hander Dallas Brayton. Two and 2 to Mark Ellis. Percy's the third Blue Jays pitcher of the night. JoJo Reyes started, went 3 1/3. Got him. Chased the high fastball. Good first inning for David Percy. 2 strikeouts in the 7th. We are tied at 5. Thanks, Jamie. Thank God, a real good-looking catching prospect for the Athletics. And what a sight this is. This young lady got a foul ball, and I'm assuming she's called her mom to say, Mom, I got a foul ball at the Blue Jays game, and Dad caught it for me. How cool is that?
And she should call and tell her she's on TV now, too.
Molina hits it into right field. David De Jesus on the run. They talk about speed, and Rajay Davis is a game changer with his wheels.
Started it all last inning. First of all, with a double down the left field line to get it started, and this was a very important play. Maybe he distracts Kevin Kuzminoff. He can't come up with that little weak grounder, and then a very short pop-up down the left field line. He will score easily without a throw. Blue Jays flashing some speed that inning.
He'll bat here with 1 out off the end of the bat. Brandon McCarthy in his 7th inning of work has held the Blue Jays in check on just 6 hits, but his defense has let him down. They committed 3 errors in that 4-run 6th inning. Another ball off the end of the bat. Curveball this time. Kevin Kuzminoff charged with 2 errors in the 6th inning. McCarthy himself committed an error on an errant pickoff throw with Hill at first. This one's popped up down the right side. Barton in foul ground. Makes the play. There are 2 outs.
I like the fact that the A's sent McCarthy back out there. You know, it's his game. He's pitched a heck of a game. Give him a chance to win this. A lot of times managers in the 7th inning will say, well, it's time I need to go to my bullpen. But McCarthy's really pitched well tonight.
4th game of the season. You got to develop some confidence, and he has certainly earned the right to stay in this game. Bob Guerin in his 5th year as the Athletics manager, making that decision. They're saying the curveball a little more frequently now in the middle innings of this ball game from McCarthy.
Keeping it away from these right-handed batters, making them reach for it. There's a good cutter right on the outside corner. Still just 78 pitches for Brandon McCarthy in the 7th inning.
A pop up foul territory. Barton over near the wall. He'll run out of room. Bottom of the 7th inning in a 5-5 tie. Oakland jumped out to a 5-0 lead. They led 5-0 behind Brandon McCarthy after 3.5 innings, and the Blue Jays scratched and clawed and got back in this game. Strike 3 on the inside corner. Escobar was looking out over the plate. McCarthy crossed him up. Just the 2nd strikeout of the night. We have played 7 innings at Rogers Center, and we are tied. Car brand in Canada. Sean Camp making his 3rd appearance of this young season. Pitched in game 2. Came on in the 8th inning, had a clean inning, and then for 2/3 of an inning on Sunday. Struck out a batter in his outing.
He's got one of those arms that's very resilient. I think he could pitch every night if they would allow him. Sinks the ball. He's got a nice little changeup and a slider. Got into 70 games last year for the Blue Jays.
David DeJesus with a sharp single into center to start things off in the 8th. DeJesus had a big night, couple of hits and a walk in 3 trips.
He's played some good defense in right field. Also, this Oakland A team is a different team offensively than the one we saw last year. They really struggled to score runs. They've got some veteran hitters in DeJesus and Willingham and Hideki Matsui, who's on the bench.
This combination right here, A's can play hit and run. Something they haven't done an awful lot of in the past, but with DeJesus at first, he can move. Quick snap throw, almost nailed DeJesus. Dives back easily this time. DeJesus not a real burner on the bases. His career high in steals is 10. It's certainly a little bit different than the normal profile of an Oakland player of the last several seasons. Got the speed to go first and third easily. Cut on and missed by Suzuki. Blue Jays have turned one double play here, and Suzuki was the batter. A 6-4-3 double play back in the 5th.
That's why they might want to start the runner at some point when the count gets into his favor, just to stay out of that double play. Probably not going to do it now with 2 strikes.
Mike Gallego going through the signs over at third base. One and two. Camp part of a very deep, very effective bullpen. A lot of different looks out of the bullpen. We saw Carlos Villanueva pitch here tonight. He's the one that really set the tone for the comeback. 2 2/3 innings of hitless relief. Big breaking ball gets Suzuki first out of the 8th.
But you know what he did in that inning? There was a double and a single and then a walk. He was able to get out of that inning. As you see Camp strike out Suzuki with just a sacrifice fly. Just that one run when he came in, and now they have shut the door since.
That's exactly where you want that breaking ball with 2 strikes. A strike to ball breaking ball. Initially in the strike zone, and it breaks out, and you get Suzuki to chase. Third baseman Kevin Kuzminov. Lays off the breaking ball. What a job by Lynn. He wasn't quite sure where the ball was, but he kept it right at the bag at first. I don't know if it hit DeJesus or Lynn knocked it down. But
if the throw is on target, I think they have him picked off. They had him leaning a little bit. Watch that last time. He just leans just a little bit. And the throw's off target right there. If it's on the bag, he has him, but it's into the runner.
Molina and Gary Cederstrom having a conversation about that last pitch. Kuzminov with the count in his favor, 2 balls and no strikes. Tapped it foul right at home. Blue Jays bullpen, just 1 hit in 4 innings of relief.
You mentioned it, the type of players they have out there. They can do different things. Sean Camp last year pitched in multiple situations. He was an 8th inning setup man. He actually had to close a few games last year.
Could be 2. Big bounce to Escobar. Hill, first, double play. Blue Jays get out of it. Second double play of the night, turned by the middle infielder. Now it's time for a connected update with Jamie and Greg. Live. Rogers. Hello, Speed Boost. Goodbye, wedding. Another first only from Rogers.
Sit back and enjoy this. Ricochet in the stands. Dad catches the ball and says, "Here, hon." What a thrill.
And then to share it. I got a baseball. Daddy caught me a baseball. If that's not the play of the game, I've never seen one. Then got out in front of that breaking ball and hits it foul. Bottom of the 8th inning in a 5-5 game. Lynn had a sacrifice fly to the third baseman his last time up. McCarthy still has that good sink on his fastball. That's right, a sac fly 5.
You don't see too many of those. That's just good base running. Heads up base running by Rajay Davis and Juno Escobar on the backside, tagging up and getting into scoring position.
Davis scored, and literally the ball was only about 30 feet past third, and there's a rip single into center to start the 8th. Lynn had good sound on that single.
Got one of those in the 4th inning when he singled off the first base bag. Solid, strong, not a real good 2-strike pitch here from McCarthy to a dangerous hitter in Aaron Lynn.
We had a tweet earlier in the game asking us what we see differently in Lyndon Hill's approach, and that's it right there. The ability to stay on a ball out over the plate. Right at Kuzminoff, back to first, but Lynn gets back safely. You can't hit it any harder than that.
Carbon copy of Aaron Hill's first at bat, when he hit a seed just like that to the third baseman. Aaron, you ought to do a couple of bloops at some point this year. This is extra bases and possibly a run for the Blue Jays, but right at the third baseman. Doesn't even have to move.
Boy, that's a good stroke right there. He's been swinging it all night long.
Yeah, stay right there. Don't change anything.
1 out, Juan Rivera. Pop this one up. Ellis back from second into the outfield. And he makes the catch. Boy, he didn't get much help from his outfielders, but they were deep because Rivera's got some power in this tie game. Ellis knew that and had to venture way out into right field.
You have to know the situation. The outfielders are very deep, so he has to go a little bit deeper to catch that one. Ellis is a very good fielder, very sure hands.
The DH, Edwin Encarnacion, had a RBI double in the 6th. A shot all the way to the wall down the left field line. Oakland has out-hit the Blue Jays 10-7. But the score is 5-all. Jerry Blevins, the left-hander. They have 4 left-handers in their bullpen. This ball is popped up right side of the diamond. Ellis calling for it in fair territory. Makes the catch, and the inning has come to an end. We have played 8 innings here at Rogers Center. We'll go to the ninth. Oakland, Toronto tied 5-all. Game 2 of this series against Oakland. The Jays on Sportsnet. 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time. It'll be Sportsnet 1 tomorrow as Jesse Litch make his season debut. And he'll open up against the left-hander, Dallas Braden. Braden, who authored that perfect game last May 9th.
Was scheduled to pitch tonight.
Yeah. They just gave him an extra day and kept everybody in line. So it'll be the left-hander Braden against right-hander Jesse Litch. John Roush on.
Second appearance of the season for John Roush. He was touched up for that one hit you can see right there. That was against Bernard Span that turned out to be a big home run on Sunday afternoon.
Clint Pennington's first at bat, it came on defensively, taking over for Andy LaRoche at shortstop. Roush is 6'10". And he has very good mechanics, always stays in the strike zone. Not an overpowering pitcher, but he certainly understands the value of movement and location. Ball is hit to center field. Davis backing up. Now rights himself and records the first out of the night.
Especially when you're 6'10", it's hard to keep everything together. But Roush has been around a long time. He understands his role. He understands his mechanics.
With the Minnesota Twins a year ago, picked up 21 saves in 59 games. Those saves came early in the season when he was picking up the slack for the injured Joe Nathan. Second half of the season, he served as a setup guy for Matt Capps. Coco Crisp hitless in 4 at-bats. Lays off the high fastball. Roush started out in the White Sox organization. Picked in the 3rd round of the '99 first-year draft. Made it to the big leagues with the White Sox in 2002. Went from Chicago to the Washington Nationals in 2004. That trade involved Carl Levitt. Ball is ripped down the right field line. That's a fair ball up against the wall. Rivera plays it on a hop. Now bobbles it. Coco Crisp stops at second with another double. The Athletics have hit 6 doubles in this game tonight.
They have worn out both foul lines. The right-handers have been peppering the left field corner, and now Coco Crisp goes down the right field line, stings it off the wall on one hop. And if you're the Oakland A's, you got to be happy you have your fastest runner in scoring position and the middle of your lineup coming up. Very good base stealer. So Junior Escobar, the shortstop, is going to play right behind him.
He's a high percentage base stealer. Just 3 caught stealings last year. Had 32 stolen bases. Bart takes the first pitch straight. Escobar has to keep his eye on Crisp, trying to shorten up that lead if possible. John Roush doing a good job as Crisp was jockeying for a bigger lead.
Yeah, you got to stop that runner at second base. You don't want him to get a walking lead where he is moving as you are pitching to home plate.
Oh, what a good pitch. Right in on the corner.
First pitch was a fastball on the outside part of the plate. This time he ties up Barton a little bit with that little cutter.
Popped up. Shallow center field. Davis comes over, calls for it, and Barton's retired. 2 outs. John Roush, the 4th Blue Jays reliever to work in this game tonight, has continued the trend of a very effective bullpen early on.
Well, it's been established through the first 3 games. The starters have taken them deep into the game. And I think that just makes your bullpen a little bit easier as you're navigate through the last couple of innings. Tonight a little bit different as JoJo Reyes was not able to get out of the 4th inning, but they pieced it together.
And they've done a good job of making sure they have fresh arms each night. Mark Zepchinski, Jason Frazier haven't pitched in this game, nor has Casey Jansen. Connor Jackson, a couple of hits, a walk, officially 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored.
If you're the Jays, this is the guy you want to get right here. 2 outs. They've got the DH position on deck, and they also have a veteran sitting on that bench from the left side that we might see a pinch hitter.
Hideki Matsui, who has absolutely worn out the Blue Jays over his career, did not start in this game with the left-hander JoJo Reyes starting for the Blue Jays. 1-1 to Jackson off the end of the back. You don't see an awful lot of real good swings when Roush is on the mound. He creates a very tough angle for hitters, 6'10", throwing downhill, and he goes back and forth on velocity with all of his pitches.
He hides the ball well too. Being a big man, he's got that high leg kick. Hides the ball, and when he's working downhill like that, it's tough to hit him.
Driven to the gap in right center. Davis with a long run on the track, makes the catch. Rajay Davis putting on a show in front of his former team. Does it with his bat, with his wheels, and now with his glove to end the night. She caught a foul ball. Her dad presented her with a souvenir, and she has been entertained to quite a ball game. Brandon McCarthy will leave after 8 strong innings. He pitched much better than a 5-5 score would indicate, but he'll turn things over to the bullpen.
5th major league season for Jerry Blevins, the left-hander coming out of the bullpen. He just pitched a couple of days ago. A couple of innings against Seattle, had 3 strikeouts, a walk. First hitters are 0 for 2 against him this year. Such an important stats when you talk about pitchers coming out of the bullpen, that first batter efficiency.
Especially in a 5-5 game at the bottom of the ninth.
To a guy who could hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Ball on the stick. One and two. Cut on and miss. Good breaking ball. Gets Snyder first down of the night.
Got ahead with the fastball and then finished it off with a curveball to a left-hander. You can see from our pitch tracks how that ball squirted out of the strike zone. 5 walk-off wins last year for Toronto.
Jason Nix has a home run already this season. Had a single in the 5th. Came on a high breaking ball from Brandon McCarthy. He has not faced Blevins. Off the end of the bat. Foul ground for Martin near the coach's box, and he makes the catch. 2 outs. Jose Molina with 2 outs here in the 9th. Big swing and a miss. 0-2. Mentioned that the Athletics have 4 left-handed relievers. Blevins, part of a very strong left-handed contingent anchored by Brian Fuentes.
I think a very good bullpen all the way. A couple of veterans out there who've been through the wars, like a Grant Balfour. You mentioned Fuentes, and when they get their closer back, it's going to be even deeper.
Yeah, Andrew Bailey currently on the disabled list with a problem with his arm, but Brian Fuentes has been a closer, has pitched on pennant winners. Trying to do the same here with Oakland. Cut on and missed. Jerry Blevins comes out of the bullpen and has a 1-2-3 ninth inning. That'll send the game into extra innings. First extra inning game of the season for the Blue Jays. We're tied at 5-all. For Oakland, he did not start this game, and we show you these numbers against Jason Frazier. He is 8 for 14 with a homer against the Blue Jays right-hander. Frazier is now into the ball game here as we are set to start the 10th inning.
Already he has 2 innings this season. He's given up just 1 hit. This is his 3rd appearance of this very young season. Jason Frazier keeps getting better year after year. Good changeup. He's got a breaking ball, and his fastball will get on top of you quickly if you're not ready for it.
8th season with the Blue Jays, and he has become a cornerstone of that bullpen. First batter he'll face here in extra innings will be the left fielder, Josh Willingham. Should be the DH, Josh Willingham. Oakland led 5-0. After the top of the 4th, Blue Jays scored a run in that inning. Added 4 in the bottom of the 6th. That's where we stand now in the 10th, tied at 5-all. Mark Ellis is on deck. Extended his hit streak going back to last season to 17 games.
Middle of the lineup for the Oakland A's have done some damage tonight.
Connor Jacks with a pair of hits, scored a run, drove in a run. Willingham has an RBI and a hit, and a sac fly in the 4th. Ellis has a double and an RBI.
And Jesus has been on 3 times, so Jason Frazier has his work cut out for him here.
The bullpen has been up to the task tonight for the Blue Jays. Just missed the inside corner. Bullpen off to a very good start, and two of the principals they counted on in spring training aren't even active yet. Frank Francisco and Octavio Dotel.
Think about that. The Oakland A's are missing their closer. So are the Blue Jays.
Long drive to left field. Josh Willingham has just put Oakland ahead. His second home run of the season. We had mentioned how difficult this part of the lineup has been all night long, and they have taken a lead here in the 10th.
Willingham has had seasons in Florida where he hit 26 home runs, 21. You mentioned the 24th through Washington. It looked like a breaking ball that Willingham connects. This is why they brought him over here, to try and add some punch into the middle of that lineup, and it pays off for him here in the 10th.
Into the second deck in left. The 12th Oakland hit tonight. Mark Ellis. Outside corner for a strike. An off-speed pitch. Gets a piece of it. Frazier's ahead 0-2. We mentioned Josh Willingham, David DeJesus, Hideki Matsui, all brought to Oakland to beef up the offense. Willingham already has 2 home runs. His first home run of the season came in the opener against Felix Hernandez in his first A's at bat.
Tells you the kind of power that Willingham has if you can turn around a Felix Hernandez pitch and hit it at Oakland too. I mean, if you've never seen that ballpark, it's humongous. It's a great pitcher's park. Lots of room in the foul territories.
The Oakland pitching staff allowed just 62 home runs in their home ballpark in 81 games. It's a very good place to pitch. A lot of foul territory too. You don't think that really factors in, but all those pop-ups that end up in the seats here
out
are still in play in Oakland.
They had the league's lowest earned run average at home last year. Just over 3 runs a game they gave up in Oakland.
A ball and 2 strikes. The Oakland Athletics have taken a 6-5 lead here on the solo home run off the bat of Josh Willingham. Boy, Ellis is a tough hitter with 2 strikes. Doesn't try to do too much. Just kind of defends the strike zone. Old-fashioned approach at the plate. Rajay Davis will be the leadoff batter for the Blue Jays to start the 10th inning. He was the spark in the 6th inning as he hit a leadoff double that led to a 4-run inning. That's when the Blue Jays tied it up. Got him. Down and away does the trick on Mark Ellis. First out of the 10th.
His last at bat, he did the same thing. It was about a 10-pitch at bat. Kept fouling pitches off, ended up striking out. Same thing here. But it's a slider down and away with 2 strikes. He can't find it. Frazier has his first strikeout.
Another newcomer to the 2011 Athletics, David DeJesus. Pair hits a walk. He's driven in a run. DeJesus spent his entire career in Kansas City. Signed in 2000, missed the first 2 seasons due to injuries. His playing career started in 2002.
Remember when we saw him last year in Kansas City? He had a great series, and there were rumors of him being traded right around that time. Right after we left there, I believe he broke his thumb. Went on the disabled list and did not play the rest of the season.
Played in 91 games a year ago. And his season was cut short because of that injury. Hit .318. He's a career .289 hitter coming into this season. Two balls, a strike, one out. Jammed on a fastball. Jason Frazier, the fifth reliever to work here tonight. Villanueva, Percy, Camp, Roush in the ninth, and now Frazier. Good fastball gets De Jesus. Back-to-back strikeouts.
Probably saw the breaking ball to strike out Ellis in front of him, sitting on it, and he threw the fastball right by him. Right on the corner.
Had plenty of the plate. Catcher Kurt Suzuki doubled in his first at bat. 1 for 4 on the night. Struck out against Camp his last time up. That inside fastball caught Suzuki on the left side.
It's been a rough first week for Kurt Suzuki. There was a collision at home plate where he twisted his ankle in the last series with Seattle. Now tonight catches one right on the forearm.
Miguel Oliva, the catcher for Seattle, had a hard slide into home plate and caught Suzuki awkwardly on the shin guard, and it looked very bad. I mean, even to the point where you thought maybe he broke his ankle, but he's taped it up, played the next day.
Said it took a whole roll of tape to get him out there to play. He's tough.
Kevin Kuzminoff has a double tonight. He would certainly like to do something else with his bat. He's had a tough night in the field. Charged with 2 errors in the 4-run Blue Jays 6th inning. If you're joining us late, Jose Bautista is away from the ball club attending to personal family matters. It is anticipated he might not be involved in this series at all. So if you're wondering where Bautista is in the order, he is not in the building.
And that leaves 3 players on the bench. Kind of makes it a little bit tougher on a manager, especially in extra inning games, if he wants to make some switches, but he is here in spirit. Or a cardboard cutout.
Brandon Morrow obviously present as well. He is on his way to Florida. He will make his rehab start on Thursday for the Dunedin Blue Jays in their season opener.
They are looking for 55 pitches only in that game.
Hard throwing right-hander Grant Balfour loosening up, getting ready for an appearance in the bottom of the 10th inning. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Outside. Bottom of the 10th inning, top of the order for the Blue Jays. Davis, Escobar, and Lynn, the scheduled hitters. Just off the outside corner.
Molina had the glove there, and Frazier hit it. We can tell from pitch tracks that it is just off the plate.
Tough one to take with 2 strikes. They'll hold the runner at first. That's Suzuki. It's a full count, 2 outs. He'll be off on the pitch. There he goes. Lifted into shallow right field. Rivera on the run. He's not going to get there. Ball bounces high. You got to get it back to the infield. Suzuki easily over to third. Kuzmanov delivers his second hit of the night.
Made a couple of good pitches to Kuzmanov, to Jason Frazier, but he doesn't have anything to show for it. Little cutter, that's down and away right where you want to have it, but it's right off the end of the bat, placed perfectly right in front of Rivera. Nothing that Juan can do except play it on the big hop. Keep Suzuki from scoring.
First and third, 2 outs. Cliff Pennington came on defensively. Had his first at bat in the 9th inning against John Roush and flied out to center. Late on a fastball. Suzuki hit by a pitch with 2 outs. Kuzmanov, a little flare base hit into right. He's at first. Oh, and 2. Oakland has taken a 1-run lead here in the 10th. A solo home run by Josh Willingham to start the inning.
A's not really a threat to steal. They really don't use that part of the game to try and advance runners, unlike the Blue Jays this year. They won't try and double steal, straight steal, delay steal, all that kind of stuff. They say you got to hit the way to get on.
Wow, another close pitch. Frazier didn't get the call.
He has had that outside corner to the lefties locked in this inning. But the patient Oakland hitters take it, and it's just off the plate.
Been a long inning for Jason Frazier. This will be his 30th pitch. Josh Willingham with his second home run started the inning. Full count.
Now they'll start the runner, and Adam Lynn's got a decision to make. He's going to play back behind the runner, concede that steal attempt, and close that hole on the right side.
Gives him a little more range laterally with the left-handed hitter at the plate. There goes Kuzmanov. Pennington goes down swinging. The A's strand a pair, but the Blue Jays trail by a run. It'll be Davis, Escobar, and Lynn. Blue Jays down by 1. New players with Adrian Gonzalez and Carl Crawford, but 0-4. It's early, but they panic early in Boston.
Yeah, they certainly do. Just read all the newspapers. Grant Balfour in to try and finish it off here in the 10th inning. Balfour came over from Tampa Bay, signed a 2-year contract as a free agent. That was back in January. He's got a very good arm. He led all Major League relievers in strikeouts per 9 innings one year. That was back in 2008. Comes right over the top with a good fastball.
8 career Major League saves for Grant Balfour, trying to pick one up here for Jerry Blevins, who's the pitcher of record for Oakland. Rajay Davis cuts on the first pitch and pops it back over the screen into the seats. Davis got things going in the 6th. A leadoff double. He came around and scored the first run of a 4-run inning. (6-5) Oakland leads. They've out-hit the Blue Jays 13-7.
You will get a fastball at some point against Grant Balfour. Got to make him get it down. He likes to pump that fastball in the top part of the strike zone.
He's a high energy guy. He's always emotional on the mound, and he loves to come at you, loves to challenge you. Signed originally with the Twins way back in 1997. Elfwood's now 33 years old. Little cutter just cued off the end of the bat. Balfour spent parts of the last 4 seasons in Tampa Bay. 2008 had a great season, 51 games, had a 1.54 ERA.
Opponents hit a $140 off of him that year.
Bounced up the middle, that'll get 2 for a base hit. Davis does it again. Gets on as the leadoff batter.
We'll see how the Blue Jays play it now. Balfour's got a very high leg kick. He isn't the quickest to home. Kurt Suzuki threw out just 13% of the base runners last year. They want to play an aggressive style. Do you do that now?
Davis with 50 steals a year ago.
Suzuki a little bit better this year. Last year was 13%. This year up to 25.
But they still have already 6 steals against Suzuki. Bob Guerin giving the running game signs. Pitch out, throw over. You've got to believe they're going to check on Davis early in this at bat. Not at all. Escobar to right field. This ball is deep. Jesus at the wall. Home run! Junior Escobar walks off the Athletics with his first home run of the season.
How about that? The first 9 innings, I don't want to say they play small ball, but they bang the ball around the ballpark. But then the signature hit comes in extra innings.
First home run of the season for Escobar. Rajay Davis gets on base. The threat of a steal gets Escobar a fastball, and he hammers it out of the ballpark to right. What a comeback for the Jays, who trailed 5-0 at one point.
They just kept scratching and clawing. They were aggressive on the bases. And we said Balfour is going to challenge you with a fastball at some point in your at bat. Pitch number 1, fastball down the middle. And that's the Escobar that we see this year that we didn't see last year. Stronger, the ability to hit it out at any part of the ballpark. And he just hit a fly ball that kept going to right field.
He crushed that ball away from him, and there was no doubt in his mind that he had enough of it to knock it out of the ballpark. A 2-run home run in the bottom of the 10th inning after Davis got on base with his second hit of the night. Certainly you had to think Balfour was thinking about the possibility of a run. Good comeback win. The Jays improved to 4-1. in this early season. Now it's